pressed play on a song and felt your whole mood completely flip, or found your focus instantly locked in by the right track? There's that feeling when a beat drops and your energy just surges, or when a quiet melody washes over you and the stress of the day melts away. Ever wonder what's actually going on with your head at that moment? That's not just a feeling, it's your brain following a biological command. Scientists have discovered that music does more than just entertain you. It physically restructures and re-engineers your brain. What happens in the first few seconds of listening to one of the most powerful and immediate biological hacks you have? It's a tool so potent it can shift your emotional state, sharpen your focus, and pull memories from the deepest corners of your mind. Today, we're not just talking about why you would like music. We're going to break down the science of what music is doing to you. This is your brain on music. Part 1, the intrigue. A universal language our brain is built for. For centuries, we've known music as powerful. Philosophers and poets have tried to describe its almost magical ability to move us. But what was once a subject for poetry is now a subject of hard science. Using tech like fMRI, which is functional magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI, and EEG, electroencephalogram, neuroscientists can literally watch your brain listen to music, and what they've seen is astonishing. It's not just one or two little areas that light up, it's almost the whole thing. Music engages a massive network of brain regions, including those responsible for processing senses, thoughts, memories, and emotions. Think about the last time a song gave you goosebumps. That shiver, which scientists call frisson, is the physical proof of a massive neurochemical event happening inside of you. It's a moment of intense emotional arousal where different parts of your brain are firing in perfect synchronized harmony. This often happens during unexpected moments in a song and suddenly change in volume, a breathtaking solo, or a key change that resolves a tension you didn't even know you were feeling. It's that split second your brain is flooded with a cocktail of chemicals, creating a peak emotional high. But this isn't just about fleeting feelings. Music is woven deep into our biology. Some scientists, like Professor Michael Spitzer at the University of Liverpool, argue that humans are musical animals, 4 million years in the making. Our entire evolutionary history is tied to rhythm and sound, from the moment our ancestors learned to walk on 2 legs, creating a steady beat, to the development of complex language. Your brain doesn't just passively hear music, it actively participates. It predicts the next note, it finds the patterns, and makes sense of it all. This active engagement is why music can snatch our attention so completely, pulling us out of a mental fog or away from a stressful thought. Music, it turns out, is one of the most complex and enriching things your brain can process. Part 2, the explanation. Your brain's internal pharmacy. So how does a bunch of sound waves floating through the air manage to do all this? How does it make you feel happy, focused, or even nostalgic? The answer is that music acts like a key, unlocking your brain's own internal pharmacy. Let's start with the pleasure principle, the dopamine rush. The most immediate effect music has on your mood, and the star of the show, is a neurotransmitter called dopamine. When you listen to a song you absolutely love, your brain is rewarded system, specifically areas like the nucleus accumbens, springs into action, releasing a surge of dopamine. This is the exact same system that lights up for other fundamental pleasures, like eating incredible food or feeling a real human connection. The dopamine release does more than just make you feel good. It's a powerful motivator. It's the reason the right playlist can turn a brutal workout into an amazing one. Your brain learns to anticipate the beat drop or the satisfying end of a chorus, and it releases dopamine in expectation of that reward, pushing you to keep going. A study published by the American Psychological Association confirmed that listening to music was linked to better physical performance, feeling like you're putting in less effort, and even being more efficient with your energy. This isn't just in your head, it's a measurable physical advantage. Let's move on to the focus hack, overriding distraction. Alright, what about focus? How can music help you concentrate when you're studying or pushing through a deadline? It seems weird that adding more salad would help, but the science is clear. Music engages the parts of your brain that handle attention and planning, like your frontal lobes. Certain types of music, especially instrumental tracks with a predictable rhythm and no lyrics to distract you, can help regulate your brain's activity. It creates a steady, consistent soundscape that masks random background noises and, more importantly, can help quiet your brain's own internal chatter. I have to admit, when I was in college, I had to switch from my rock music to classical or instrumental jazz music so I could study while listening to it. Otherwise, I would start singing along with the song. Not helpful. The thing is, music gives the easy, distracted part of your mind something to hold on to, which frees up the rest of your brain to focus on what you need to do. One of the coolest examples of this comes from the world of sports. A landmark study found that cyclists who synchronized their pedaling to a beat needed 7% less oxygen to do the same amount of work as people cycling with just background music. The music wasn't just distracting them from the pain, it was making their bodies more efficient by giving them a rhythm to follow. It's a perfect example of music as a biological hack, literally making a hard task easier. And who doesn't want that? Now for the memory machine. Music is a time travel device. Have you ever heard a song from high school and been instantly thrown back in time? You just don't remember the lyrics, you remember where you were, who you were with, and exactly how you felt. That's not just nostalgia, it's proof of music's incredibly deep connection to memory, a process managed by a brain region called the hippocampus. Music isn't stored in your brain like an MP3 file saved on a computer. It's saved as a rich, multi-sensory experience. Think of a normal memory as a computer file with a few tags like summer or friends. But a memory tied to a song has way more tags. The sound, the emotion, the place, the people, the thick web of connections makes the memory stronger and easier to find. This is why music has become such a powerful tool in the therapy for dementia and Alzheimer's disease. There are countless videos and clinical studies of patients with severe memory loss, people who can't recognize their own families, who can suddenly remember and even sing along to the songs of their youth. Researchers have found that parts of the brain tied to musical memories are often less damaged by these diseases. Music provides a secret backdoor to access feelings and memories that have become otherwise locked away. It's proof that musical memories are some of the deepest and most resilient we have. The fact that a simple song can cut through the fog of dementia and bring a person back to themselves, even for a moment, is just incredible. If you're finding this dive into the brain as fascinating as we do, hit the subscribe button. It's totally free to subscribe. We are always exploring the science of how our minds and bodies work, living your best life and traveling the world, and we'd love for you to join our community of curious thinkers. Let's move on to part 3, the next level, listening versus playing. As amazing as listening to music is, neuroscientists have found there's another level to this. If listening to music is like watching a fireworks display, playing an instrument is like setting off the fireworks yourself. It is no exaggeration, one of the most complete full body workouts for your brain. When you play an instrument, even if you suck at it like I do, you're coordinating a whole symphony of brain processes at once. Your visual cortex reads the notes. Your auditory cortex listens to the sounds you're making. And your motor cortex is engaged in incredibly fine movements, from placing your fingers on the guitar to controlling your breath for a trumpet. But the most incredible part is the communication between the two halves of your brain. Playing music forces the logical language focused left hemisphere to talk to the creative, intuitive right hemisphere through a massive nerve bridge called the corpus callosum. This constant high-speed communication strengthens the connections in your brain, making them faster and more efficient. The result is that musicians' brains are physically different. They tend to have more gray matter, the stuff that houses your neurons, in areas related to hearing and motor skills. One study noted that a professional musician's auditory cortex can have significantly more gray matter density, with some findings showing it can be up to 130% larger than non-musicians. They also show higher levels of executive function, the brain's ability to manage complex tasks, plan, and solve problems. This full brain workout doesn't just make you a better musician, it upgrades the cognitive hardware you use for everything else. And just about everyone can pick up an instrument, learn it, and benefit from its magical powers. I'm proof of that. Part 4, debunking and clarifying the nuances of sound. With something this powerful, it's no surprise a few myths have popped up. To really get it, we need to look at these with some scientific honesty. First up, the famous Mozart effect. This is the idea that listening to classical music, especially Mozart, can make you smarter. It came from a small 1993 study where students did slightly better on a spatial reasoning test after listening to Mozart. The media loved it, and the entire industry of playing Mozart to babies in the womb was born. But the science is a little more down to earth. While some music can give you a temporary brain boost, a phenomenon known as arousal and mood hypothesis, there's no evidence it permanently raises your IQ. The effect is more about putting your brain in the right state of alertness for a specific task. Listening to any music you enjoy that's complex but not distracting can give you a similar short-term kick. So while Mozart is great, he doesn't hold a magic key to genius. The real benefit comes from actively using music in a way that works for your brain. Next up, the paradox of sad music. Here's another one that puzzles people. Why on earth do we listen to sad music when we're already feeling down? It seems like pouring salt in the wound. Yet millions of us put on a melancholic playlist to get through a breakup or a rough day. Recent research points to a few reasons for this paradox. First, sad music is like an empathetic friend. It validates what you're feeling. When a song mirrors your emotional state, you feel seen and understood. The writer James Baldwin, who wrote Go Tell It on the Mountain, touched on this, saying, "The things that tormented me the most were the very things that connected me with all the people who were alive and who have ever been alive." Sad music reminds us we aren't alone in our plan. Biologically, listening to sad music can trigger the release of hormones like prolactin and oxytocin, which are linked to comfort and bonding. It's a bit like having a good cry. It's a safe, controlled way to process difficult emotions. A 2024 study even found that for many people, feeling sadness through the safe, aesthetic filter of music is actually enjoyable. We get to explore a complex emotion without being crushed by a real-life tragedy. Part 5, the application, your personal biological toolkit. Okay, understanding science is cool, but the real power is using it. You now know that you have a biological toolkit in your headphones, and you can be the DJ of your own brain chemistry. Here's how. For intense focus, if you lock in, instrumental music is your best friend. Lyrics can be distracting because they fire up the language parts of your brain. Go for classical, ambient, electronic, or lo-fi, hip-hop, jazz, whatever. The key is a steady tempo without any sudden jarring changes. This creates a predictable soundscape that helps your brain find its flow state. For motivation and energy, when you need a jolt for a workout or to finally do those dishes, it's time for your high energy favorites. You want something with a strong, fast rhythm that you already know well. Because it's familiar, your brain doesn't have to work hard to process it. And the high tempo will stimulate your motor cortex and trigger the all-important dopamine release. For stress relief and for relaxation, to wind down, do the exact opposite. Choose music with a slow tempo, ideally between 60 to 80 beats per minute, which is about the same as a resting heartbeat. Calming music is proven to lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol, along with your blood pressure and heart rate. Music without a strong beat or with nature sounds can be especially effective. For memory and learning, when you're studying, music can be a double-edged sword. As we said, the right music can help you focus, but studies have shown that trying to learn new information while listening to complex or unfamiliar music can actually get in the way. A better approach is to listen to calming instrumental music before you start studying to get your brain in the zone, and maybe again afterwards to help lock in what you've learned. From the instant rush of dopamine to the long-term changes that come from a life full of music, it's one of the most powerful forces that shape our brains. It's not just background noise or a cultural product. It's a fundamental part of our biology, a language our brains are uniquely wired to understand. It can lower our stress, make us happy, connect us to our oldest memories, and bring us together. Music is a tool that lets us conduct our own neural orchestra. It's a biological hack we can use to consciously change our mood, sharpen our focus, and feel more deeply. It's a reminder that we are all, in a very real and scientific sense, musical animals. How does music help you? Please share in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the brain, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Completely free to subscribe. And to continue your healthy living journey, 2 videos will pop up any moment and you can click on either of them. Have an awesome life, and I will see you next time.